Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So here's the voiceover of the question 18th. So this is my voiceover because I couldn't record the last time. So I'm just going to explain you a few questions and I'm going to write in the description what really happened with the voiceover. I think it got a bit wrong when I was editing. So 10 parts because this is a ratio question. So we added 5 plus 3 plus 2. And then after that we know that a total of 240 cans were there. So we did 240 over 10 because we added 5 plus 3 plus 2 ratios. After that, to find the exact number of cans for each, we did for cola, for lemonade, and for orange. We all know actually that for 5x, 3x, and 2x, we can take them as that, or we can take them as 5, 3, and 2, which we found 10 parts for. So to find the exact number of cola, lemonade, and orange, we multiplied them by the number that we got from 240 over 10 part. So cola was 5 into 24, lemonade was 3 into 24, orange was 2 into 24, cola we got 120, lemonade we got 72, and orange we got 2 into 24, which is 48. So we did half into 72, which is equals to 36, which is basically the part which is left, because as they mentioned in the next sentence that 1/2 of the cans of lemonade and 1/12 of the cans of orange were removed. So to take out that, we basically did 1/2 of 72. So we got the exact value of how many are left now. And 1/12 of 48 we did because we did 1/12 of 48 because 1/12 of 48 was also taken off the shelf. So we did 1/12 of 48, which gave us 4. So we basically know if 4 were gone from 48. So we did 48 minus 4, which gave us 44. So there are around now 44 left of orange cans after they were taken off the shelf. And then the lemonade is 36 cans now. So now when we know the cans remaining, we can write for all of them. So cola, lemonade, orange, we can write in a ratio. So we know 120 and 36 and 44. And then after that, because they asked us for a percentage for the total number of cans of drink remaining on the shelf and the number of cans of cola, we know cola remained same. It wasn't taken off the shelf, so it has the same number. And we can write them in a fraction. So the total was 240. We have 120. Oh wait, not 240. So not 240 here. We did 120 over 200 because as we know 36 plus 4 is a 40. So from 240 if we subtract 40 it gives us a 200. So we wrote 120 over 200. We divided it by 2, both of them, denominator and numerator, so that we can get 100. Because for example, if we take a 30%, we basically know 30% is 30 over 100, for example. So we know if we need to find a percentage number, the number should be over 100, from which we can get the percentage. So we divided it by 2, both of them. We got 60 over 100 because, and in that way we got a percentage of 60%. Right, so now we're here with 500. We make a tree diagram. We know 2 into 250 is 500, and then after that we make a tree diagram for 250 because 2 is a prime number, so it keeps going on like 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 into 1. So it keeps going on, so it doesn't make any sense in continuing 2, so we leave 2 right there. We keep continuing the 250 because we know there's more tree diagrams, and when we and they're like more numbers that we multiply, and even those numbers will have the tree diagrams as well. So we'll just keep going with 250 now. So now we're going to write. So sometimes what the thing is, because of my voiceover, it might be a little bit late with the text. So I hope you understand. Otherwise, I'll try my best to explain as much as I can because my voiceover went a bit with the connection or something. So people were not able to hear my voiceover in this video. So that's why I'm going to edit it, and I did a voiceover again. So please understand if I'm too late with the text or anything. And if there's any confusion or anything, I'm ready to explain it through a short. So here also what we did was 500, 250, 125. We kept going on, and we reached to the end of 5 and 5, which is also a prime number. So now what we do is we found out the prime factors. We know 2 and 5 are the prime factors. So 2 to the power of 2 because 2 is 2 times here, and 5 to the power of 3 because the prime factors 3 times there. So we basically know the answer will be 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by 5 to the power of 3, which is the product of powers of its prime factors, the way they asked us to answer this question. So I have given a better explanation in my when I was making this video, but due to some error in the audio, I tried hearing it myself, so I wasn't able to hear the question at all, able to hear myself at all. So that's why I decided to make it here. It's a bit different, but I tried my best explaining as much as I can. I can be a bit slippery with timing, so I hope that's okay with you guys only for this video. I'll try my best for the next few videos to be very clear, slow, and I hope you understand much better. If you have any doubts, please let me know. I'll always be able to explain it to you guys and make sure you understand the best you can with the exam techniques and everything in my YouTube short videos, or even the 2-3 minute YouTube videos. Please let me know in the comment section. So now we're on question 20. We were asked questions about fractions, very simple fractions. So this is how we solved it. So work out 1 3 over 5 plus 2 1 over 4. So what we first did was convert them into improper fraction. Now we know that their decimals, not their decimals, their denominators are different. So that means to make it same, we have to multiply them together. So we know our common number is a 20. So for 9 over 4, we'll multiply both of these numbers by 5. So if the denominator is getting multiplied by some number, it will be the exact same number multiplied above. That's the rule, and you can mess up this question really easily. So please look out for it. When you do it for the denominator, do it for the numerator as well. So we did the same. For 8 over 5, we did 4, and then we got 32 over 20 for 8 over 5. And for 9 over 4, we got 45 over 20. Now their denominators are same. So now we will decide to add them up, which gives us an answer of 77 over 20. Now it is important, because we've been given a question in mixed fraction, to write the answer in mixed fraction as well. So our answer is 317 over 20. That's your answer. And we can also write that in the answer section. And that's how you gain a full of your 2 marks. Sometimes people accept, sometimes people don't accept. So most of the time people won't accept an answer of an improper fraction because your question was asked in a mixed fraction. So always look out for the fact that you need to write your answer in a mixed fraction if the question is asked in a mixed fraction itself. Could be in a word problem, could be in a sum, which is also containing full of ratios and formulas and areas and all of that. So it is super important to look out for a mixed fraction question. If they ask you to write in a fraction an answer, or when you know your answer is going to be in a fraction, always write it in a mixed fraction if it's given in a mixed fraction itself in the start. Now we're on to the next question. We've been given in mixed fraction as well, and we need to prove here. So don't worry about the is equals to sign in 4 over 9. We just keep solving here. So we did 8 over 3, which is for 2 over 3's improper fraction, and then 6 over 1. So because we need to divide here, so we put the divide sign in the middle. And then we just keep going with it. And here I showed in the brackets as well that how did we convert to it. We did 2 over 3 and converted into a mixed fraction. 3 into 2 is 6, plus 2 8 over 3. So now after that we know that because it is in divide, it is always important for the second fraction to get to it reciprocal so that we can multiply, and that's how this division works in fractions. This will always be the rule. We cannot divide here. You cannot divide fractions here, so it will always be the rule for the second fraction to always do a reciprocal and then get multiplied. So we got an answer of 8 over 18, which gave us a small fraction of 4 over 9 while simplifying. So that was our answer for that one. I hope that that one's clear. If that one's not clear, please let me know in the comment section, guys. Now we're on to question 21. Here we are to simplify and we are the powers. So what we did was, first we applied BODMAS, because here we have multiplication and division first. We have multiplication and we have the brackets. So firstly, because in the first letter it's brackets, so we solved the brackets first. So we got 8 minus 5, which is 3 from the powers. And then after that, because there was an inside bracket, outside bracket, there is a rule to multiply the powers. So we did 2, 3 into 2. Like in the powers, 3 into 2, which gives us 2 to the power of 6, and that is your answer, and that's how you will earn 2 marks. Super important to always look out for BODMAS, because you can mess up these questions very fast, very quick, and that's how you will lose the most marks, and that's why you will lose two marks super easily. So super important to follow BODMAS. What comes first will go first, what comes later will go later. So now in the next question, we know, as we can see, we've got a decimal question. So we just take firstly normal numbers. We take 4 and 32 out of those zeros and decimals. So we take 32 into 4, which gives us 128. Now there are 2 ways to solve this. The first way would be that firstly we count the number of the numbers before there was a decimal point. So we know in total taking 0.32 and 0.004, they are around 5 decimal places before a decimal point. So what we do is we take these 3 numbers and we add 2 more zeros to it, put a decimal, and in the right side we put another 0, which will be our answer, which will be 0.00128. But here we can also do it in this way as well, write it in standard form. So for 0.004 we know it's 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3. We know 32 multiplied by 10 to the power of minus 2 in the standard form. So now we're going to write an answer. So minus 3 and minus 2, we know it's an answer of minus 5. So we're going to write 128 will be multiplied by 128 multiplied by 10 to the power of minus 5. And then we can write the answer like that, or we can make it even shorter, make sure there's a decimal point in, suppose we could write 1.28. So the number of so the power will be then changed, and that can also be considered as a right answer, because in the end we're still getting the same answer which we would be getting if we did the simpler method, which was again count the number of decimals and write that long answer of 0.00128. So anything, it's fine. I was explaining the simpler way. But now here we got an answer of 1.28 10 to the power of minus 3. So we know the power has changed. The power has changed now. So now we know the answer is 1.28 into 10 to the power of minus 3. And you can write the answer as that too, because again we'll get the exact same answer no matter which method we do. Those two methods are completely fine to do. And that's how you'll get a simple answer. So that question is done. I hope you don't have any doubts in that one. So here we were given a question of a car factory is going to make 4 different car models A, B, C, D. We were given the car models A, B, C, D and the number of people. So then we were asked the factory is going to make 40,000 next year. Work on how many model B the factory should make. So here what we really did, because we had 40,000 for next year and they were asking for B, so we simply took firstly 15 and then B, like from B we took 15 number of people there were. So we wrote 15 and then we wrote 80, because the total number of people who were most likely to buy were 80. So we wrote 15 over 80 as a probability. And then after that, to convert it, we wrote it into a fraction of 40. So took a fraction of 40, we simply can do divided by 2. So we get an answer of 80 divided by 2 of 40 and 15. And then 15 divided by 2 was 7.5. I first read it wrong. It's not 75, it's 7.5. So 15 divided by 2 was 7.5. And so what we really did, from 15 to 80, we converted it into, in a more easier percentage, it gets to 40,000. We firstly converted into 40. We did the same thing in the numerator as well. And then after that, we went from 75 over 400. We multiplied it by 10. And then after that, for the next, to convert it into 40,000, we did multiply by 100, which got us to 7,500 over 40,000. In which way we got for 40,000? In which way we basically got how many cars model B should make. So the answer is 7,500, that they should make 7,500 cars for the next year, because they will be making 40,000 cars next year. So in that way, model B should make around 7,500 cars for the people to choose from, because there are 80 right now, so there will be probably more people likely to buy next year. So guys, in this question we were given a storage tank of 10,000 newtons on the ground. Base of tank we were given 4 meter by 2 meters. So we basically know here we need to find the area first. So what we really did in this question was we found the area, which was 4 into 2 is equals to 8 meters square. This is a formula to always remember, because these type of questions will always be coming up, and this is not something that they will mention in a formula sheet, most probably not. It is something for you to remember. So that's a key point. And secondly, also remember the formula of pressure. In this question, we were given the formula of pressure, which is force over area. But this is also something that will not be given. Most probably, it will be something for you to remember. So here we know we got the area. So now we can take out the pressure. So pressure we already know is 10,000. Didn't need to change anything in here. And we got the answer from 4 into 2. We divided 5,000 over 4 because we simplified 10,000 over 8. Which got us to an answer of 1250 newtons per meter square. That's your answer, and that's how you will earn a full of 2 marks. The second mark is basically for substituting, and the first mark is basically for finding out the area and writing the numbers P, like substituting the values P is equals to 10,000 over 8. So people make common mistakes here all the time. So it is super important to pay attention to this question and firstly understand what formulas could be used here. So firstly, in the given section, please make sure that you write down formulas, and then after that you need to solve. And it becomes 100 times more easier for you because then you remember things, and especially when you remember the formulas, it is much more easier for you to solve and gain more marks. So now we're on to the next question. I hope you cleared with the previous one. So in this question, guys, we have two questions. One is for factorizing and the other one is for solving. Here we basically take this sign as greater than, and then obviously we are familiar with the equals to sign and smaller than. So that will be the other side. So it is called a crocodile mouth. This side, as you can see, the one I've written is basically greater than. The other side is greater than, and then the next one, which is equals to sign, which we already know about. So always take these type of questions, these type of signs as equals to sign whenever they tell you to solve here. So we've solved the question here basically like we usually do, which is 5x over 2. And then we have a equals to sign in a way, but we write it as the crocodile sign because this is what they have mentioned here and that's what we should use. Please don't confuse it with the equals to sign and write equals to sign in the exam, because that's when you can get your marks cut off, or you might not get the mark for the whole question even though you've solved it correct. So because this is a 3-mark question, it's super important to write the sign. So we simply did this method of 5x over 2, 18 minus 3. We did the method of finding out x, and we basically got an answer of x is greater than 6. So for beginners who are already firstly trying this question for the first time, you can write is equals to for the first 2 or 3 sums, but after that please get used to writing this sign as always, because there is a chance you might lose this mark only because you haven't written the sign, and when they've asked you that you have to write the answer in this way, that's the only way you need to write the answer in. And equals to, again, it's the right answer, but again they won't accept it because that's not how the question was represented. So you need to write the exact sign they asked you in. If it's equals to, you can write in equals to. If they write smaller than, you can write in smaller than. You have to write the answer in which sign it is given you to. So here we were given greater than, so we wrote the answer in greater than, but we solved it like it was equals to because that's how we usually solve it, and that's how you should solve these sums. That's the key thing. Not get confused with these signs. It's basically just a sign. Take it as a equals to sign in your mind, and you can solve super easily in this one. So here you gain all your 3 marks. We did a simple method here. If you're not clear with these factorizing about how to solve and find out x, please let me know. I'll make a separate video on this so everyone is clear on it, and we'll also practice sums related to this sign so that people don't get confused here. So I hope you're clear with this question. Here in this question we asked for factorizing, so we did the simple method for factorizing. We've given 10x and 9, so we know the last number, which is a 9. Whatever number that we will be using should multiply to get a 9, and then for 10x we should use a number, both of the numbers, the same numbers we use for a 9. So if we add them up or if we subtract them, we get an answer of 10x. So the numbers we can think of for now is a 9 and a 1. So we took 9 and a 1, and we already know if we add 9 plus 1 is a 10, and then 9 into 1 is 9, which is what we asked for. So we got the perfect numbers. Now we know they both are positive. So the answer is also going to be in positive, because whenever they've asked us in positive, will be positive, because here we can see when we've got a positive of 10x, we know that the numbers do not need to be changed into a negative. So clearly in this one it was a rather simple question. Here it will remain positive and the numbers will be x plus 1 and x plus 9. This will be your answer. Your first mark was about finding those numbers, and your second mark was for writing it in this form. It is always important to write in this form, otherwise you might not earn a mark. You might only earn a mark out of 2, and maybe the whole question you might get it wrong. So you got the 2 whole marks there. Okay, so now when we move on to this question, we know that we have to make b the same here, because for b we've been given 2 types of numbers. We've been given 3 and 6, and we clearly know that the 2 ratios cannot be simply here if we need to write a complete ratio of a ratio b ratio c. So we find a common number for b from 3 and 6, and we know the common number could be 6 or could be 18. So firstly, for making it more easier, we took 6, but as an example I gave you guys, you can always multiply 6 into 3, which gives you 18. That's also a common number to take. So I took 6. So I wrote here make b the same, and now after that we'll wait for a few more minutes for the next steps. And here we clearly just had to write firstly a ratio b and then b ratio c. Then we wrote the numbers 1:3 and then 6:5. We know we found a common number for B. So then below we write the new version. So because if we write these numbers as fractions, suppose if we write A/B as a fraction, which is 1/3, we clearly know because we converted it into a 6, we converted 3 into a 6, we know we multiplied it by 2. Basically means if our denominator we multiplied by 2, our numerator should also be multiplied by 2. So when we multiply 3 into 2 is 6, we also multiplied the numerator, which is 1. So we multiplied 1 into 2 is also 1 into 2 is 2. So our new ratio would be for A and B would be 2:6, and for already we found B, so we don't write it again, we don't write a double ratio now, so we clearly write for A:B:C, we write 2:6:5. The another ratio, which is B and C, 6/5, it remains the same because we already found a common one, and because it was already 6, we didn't need to change anything, so we kept it as 6/5. And if we had to write it as a fraction, we clearly multiplied it by 1 because there wasn't any need of a change. And we found the common factor from both 3 and 6. It's a 6, so no change for 6/5 or 6:5. So now our answer would be for A, B and C. We would clearly write an answer of 2:6:5. Here I wrote it again as 2:6:6:5 to make it clear for a few people if they're still confused. And then for the final answer, we wrote it as 2:6:5. And that will be your answer for this question. So I hope this is clear to everyone. I can explain it in more time and more slowly if you want me to in another video. Please let me know though in the comments. In the next question, we were simply asked about express A as a fraction of the total of three numbers A, B and C. So what we really did is we added the three numbers, three ratios, which was 2 and 6 and 5. That gave us 13. And because they only asked us for A, we know it was a 2. So we wrote 2/13 and that will be our answer. Basically in the last question now, we've asked about Emma writes down three numbers M, N and P. I think I've already repeated this question, so now I'm just going to the solving. I wrote if M is equals to 1 and N is equals to 2, we took simple numbers. And then after that we wrote N ratio M, and then we wrote P ratio N, and then after that we wrote the numbers 2:1 as it was given, then 5:1, and then after that we wrote so obviously we wrote N ratio M, P ratio N, and then after that we converted into 1 to 2, so we multiplied by 2. 5 into 2 is 10, so we wrote 10, and then we wrote 2:1 as a normal ratio, we kept it as that. And then for M ratio N ratio P, we got a ratio of 1:2:10, but because they only asked us for M ratio P, we wrote the ratio of 1:10, and that will be our answer. And here we had to make N the same because we were asked for a common one. So the first step, which was very similar to the A part, was to make N the same. So we made N the same here. And then after that, we wrote a complete ratio of M ratio P, 1:10. If we left it at M ratio N ratio P, we would only get around 1 mark, most probably, if it's a more stricter marking. But again, it is super important because they've only asked us for M ratio P. We should only write the answer for M ratio P. But only for our reference and for good help, we wrote M ratio N ratio P, so that in the end we can write a proper answer of M ratio P, which is 1:10. So here now we have completed the paper, and our last question that we missed out on is also complete. Sorry, my voiceover got cut off. And also that you will get a lot of help in your further examinations that you're going to have. This is going to be super helpful and will help you earn the most marks, especially in the longer marks that you have. Like suppose 5 markers, 6 markers, you can earn the most marks, earn 4s or 5s, or best earn full marks in them. So I wish you the best for them, and we are going to go through more papers of foundation. Please let me know if there are specific ones that you want me to do. As I've mentioned, there's the same thing a few times in the video as well. So please let me know if there's any particular past paper you want me to discuss with you guys, and I'll make sure and I'll try my best to make you guys understand certain questions with exam techniques. And I hope you like this video. Sorry about the voiceovers and a miss of a few questions like 24. I'm sure now we've covered all the questions of this past paper, and that's how I will be doing for the next past papers as well. If there's anything else, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you.